As the Trump government shutdown continues, the president and his lackey, Russell Vought, or maybe not even lackey is the correct word, perhaps the shadow president, okay, Russell Vought, who was a main contributor to Project 2025 and now his OMB director, is threatening to enact some pretty painful spending cuts as revenge to some of the states that voted for Kamala Harris in 2024. See, Vought had gleefully announced his plan to inflict pain on voters during the shutdown, using the shutdown as an excuse, okay? By canceling $18 billion in infrastructure projects in New York and another $8 billion in green energy projects in the 18 states that had voted against Trump, which of course is not just going to affect those states or just Harris voters. Now, of course, he announced these cuts on X, saying that the left agenda is finally being canceled, proving that his big desire is nothing more than to own the libs. This is something that he has been dreaming of doing, I should say, for a very, very long time. That said, not all Republicans are exactly thrilled with all of this. In fact, you have GOP Representative from New York, Mike Lawler, who admitted in an exchange with CNN's Kaitlan that some of these cuts are going to end up hurting Trump's own voters.
They are playing pure politics here, and it has to stop.
But do you not believe the administration is playing politics by only canceling projects in states where Democrats are and are running the place?
Well, listen, I'm in New York, and I'm a Republican, and obviously this project cancellation impacts me, and it impacts my district. So it's not just Democrats getting impacted, but this is the consequence of the stupidity of shutting down the government, and Chuck Schumer is directly responsible. He should immediately call all of his Senate Democrats, bring them to the House, to the Senate floor, and vote to pass the CR. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard. I don't know. And it seemed pretty hard for Mitch McConnell the last time he shut the government down 7 years ago to try to defund healthcare. Notice how Republicans are all about shutting down the government to prevent people from getting healthcare, whereas Democrats are actually shutting down the government if it's their fault, which it's really not, but they did shut down the government in order to try to protect people's health care. Weird. And one of the reasons that the Democrats have not signed a continuing resolution is because Republicans have not tried to negotiate with them in good faith about the restoration of the ACA tax credits. They want those restored. They want some of the money that was taken out of Medicaid, the $1 trillion taken out of Medicaid, they want that put back. These are not far left ideas. What Democrats are asking for in this shutdown to fund the government, to continue funding this government, is basically something that most people support. Okay, according to a KFF health tracking poll, 78% of adults say that Congress should extend the enhanced premium tax credits for people who purchase their own coverage on the Affordable Care Act marketplaces, or Obamacare marketplaces. That is more than 3 times the share, 22%, who say that those credits should expire. That's right. 92% of Democrats, 82% of independents, and even a majority of Republicans, 59%, favor an extension of those credits. Even those Republicans who identify with the MAGA movement, 57% of them are saying, yeah, of course we should continue the subsidies. Why? Because if without the subsidies, our insurance rates will go up. And we already are having a very difficult time affording things, okay, in this Trump economy. Democrats are actually fighting harder to protect Republican voters than the Republicans are. Doesn't surprise me at all. Even in that video, Lawler had to admit that, yeah, Trump voters, they're going to be hurt by Vouts and Trump's little tantrum, okay? That's what's going to happen. Trump's cancellation of $18 billion for New York infrastructure projects, for example, would stop new train tunnels from being built under the Hudson River, which, when built, would actually benefit the entire region, not just the city, in places where Republican voters live, okay? Look, it doesn't matter if these projects are in blue states. Everyone who live in those states would benefit. And if these are blocked, they would also lose out. It's not just people who voted for Kamala Harris that are being impacted here. What the Republicans are doing is punishing their own voters in order to own the libs. And the same goes for all those green energy projects that Vout can't wait to cancel. Can't wait. But wait, those green energy projects also help Republican voters. They're going to lose out potentially on good paying jobs. For example, there was a project in the Pacific Northwest for a hydrogen hub, okay, which would span Washington, Oregon, and Montana. Montana happens to be a state that voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump in this election. They have a Republican governor, Greg Gianforte, okay, who has hailed this project as a boon for his state, declaring that it's going to create good-paying Montana jobs and allow the state to be a leader in energy innovation. But not anymore. Not anymore. According to Bloomberg, that billion-dollar investment is on Vout's chopping block. This is what they're doing. They're going to cut off their noses to spite their face. I mean, Trump has posted on social media that by entering into the shutdown standoff, Democrats have given him an opportunity to cut Democrat agencies, which is his way of him saying that, yeah, I'm going to cut congressionally appropriated funding that happens to go to some of my political enemies. The thing is, it's not just going to its political enemies. It's going to blow back on Republican voters and politicians. And you know what? They're going to have no one else to blame but themselves. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.